Have you ever heard the word Montessori and wondered what it was? Well, today I'm going to tell you how I discovered it and why I chose Montessori education for my own children. Hi, I'm Tiffany from the Montessori Place, and today I want to talk to you about how I discovered Montessori and what it is. So, initially, I was a public school teacher, and as I was getting ready to have my own kids, I was evaluating and thinking about the future I would want for them, and looking at my own students in my classroom and seeing them as they left me years later. I was seeing that the learning was being lectured out of them, that the spark was gone, because they were being pushed through a system and being introduced information with little regard for actual learning. And I wanted something different. I took a break from teaching when I had my children. I had a daughter first, and when she was about 2.5, I became pregnant with my twins. And I wanted to find a preschool program for her, just to get her out a couple of days a week so that she could socialize. And there happened to be a Montessori school in my neighborhood. Now, I had heard a little bit about Maria Montessori when I was taking my child development classes. Like many other theorists, I had read a paragraph about her. And I had a few misconceptions, which I'll talk about in the next video, like lack of structure, and other times, oh, that's too rigid. But I decided to enroll my daughter in the program and see. And I was amazed at the things she began to pick up. Most importantly, that she became very independent and very helpful. The desire to ask questions and seek the answers to those questions, and that natural curiosity of, if you show me how to do it, then I can do it on my own. And I really began to value Montessori, but again, I didn't know much about it. My family ended up moving, and when we moved to our new house across many states, not knowing the value of Montessori, we enrolled her again in a traditional preschool program. And there was a complete 180 of my child's behavior. No longer the happy, helpful child. She was disgruntled and angry and argumentative. And I thought, what was it that Montessori was doing? And that's when I began to study a bit of what Montessori is. Maria Montessori developed a new philosophy of education, one based on observation. So the idea was to follow the child, meet the child where they are developmentally, and meet the child where their interests are. It wasn't in mind with a curriculum that you have to see that a child gets through, but rather what the child is interested in studying and knowing child development, what kinds of content and the way you are going to set up the environment. So here are some things that are unique about a Montessori classroom, a Montessori education. The Montessori classroom is set up for hands-on learning. The child is able to touch everything. And the areas of the classroom are really something that is astounding the first time you see it. The sensorial area, where the children work on different materials that highlight sense of taste, smell, sight, touch. Those are really some fun lessons. And then practical life, where children are learning tasks of daily life so that they can be independent and build self-discipline and build self-esteem. And then you have your language area and your math area and your cultural areas. Children are free to move around the classroom at their own desire. As long as they are not disruptive to others or disruptive to material, they have that freedom of movement to choose a work from the shelf, work on it, and move on to something else. And like I said, everything is hands-on. Maria Montessori believed that the hands are the work of the mind, and it isn't so much the teacher lecturing. In fact, that's not it at all. It is the teacher introducing a material, and through manipulation with that material, the child learns. The role of the teacher in the classroom is one to observe and note when the child needs a variation of a lesson because they're still struggling, or when the child is ready for the next step, or following an interest of the class and setting the environment up and bringing those materials in. In the Montessori classroom, the child is respected as a unique individual. Everyone's differences are valued and cherished, and that ability to have the child be independent and do things on their own and ask questions and be excited about seeking the answers, that really made me excited about Montessori. Maria Montessori believed in educating the whole child, believing that the child is forming the adult that they will become, tapping into the child's spirit, the formation of the child's personality. So school is not just based on academics, but educating the whole child. This is a little bit of the things that drew me to Montessori education. But as I said at the beginning, there were some myths that I had about too much structure. But then I also heard the lack of structure. So I hope you'll tune in to my next episode of debunking some of the myths of what Montessori education is. If you've liked what you've heard so far, make sure to subscribe to my channel, follow me on my Facebook page, The Montessori Place, or if you want more help, contact me for one-on-one coaching.